This authenticated team, backed by cutting-edge technology, ensures seamless execution and unparalleled results. Luntha guarantees credibility and professionalism in all its endeavors and services. We offer, among this, production and broadcasting of jingles, music videos, narratives, documentaries, press services and programs on occasion or outside, live broadcasting of mass and other church functions, government or indoor functions, and political rallies, creation and broadcasting of special programs, sponsored content.
Good afternoon and thank you for joining us for news updates. My name is Tandy Wimzumara. Pope Francis had a restful night, according to a statement published this morning by the Holy See Press Office. On Tuesday evening, the press office provided an update on Pope Francis' day, noting that he followed the spiritual exercises at the Vatican via video link with the Paul VI Hall, spent time in prayer in his room but also in the chapel, and received the Eucharist. The Pope continued the usual high-flow oxygen therapy throughout the day, and Pope Francis' clinical situation remains stable, with doctors confirming slight improvements within a context that nevertheless remains complex. The Chief Resident Magistrates Court in Lilongwe is set to make a landmark ruling today on whether Prophet Shepherd Bushiri and his wife Mary should be extradited to South Africa. The court session, scheduled for 2 p.m, will determine whether the Bushiris would be extradited to South Africa to face charges of fraud, money laundering and corruption. The Bushiris have been fighting extradition, arguing that they will not receive a fair trial in South Africa, and their legal team has also raised concerns about their safety and the potential for political interference in the case. If the court rules in the favor of extradition or grant the couple freedom, there is an option for an appeal for any aggrieved party. Consumers will have to dig deeper into their pockets as Illovo Sugar Malawi PLC has announced a price adjustment on some sugar pack sizes effective today. In a public notice, the company cited rising costs of essential raw materials, electricity and other goods and services necessary for sugar production as the key reasons for the price hike. The price adjustments affect various sugar packaging sizes, including brown and refined sugar. The statement indicates that the recommended retail price for a 1 kilogram packet of brown sugar is now at 3,000 Malawi Kwacha, among others. It comes at a time when consumers are already grappling with rising costs of essential goods. The European Union EU ambassador to Malawi, Rune Skinnybash, has urged authorities to come up with decisive actions on addressing economic challenges affecting Malawians. Speaking at the opening of the 2025-2026 national budget proposal from the social and productive sector lanes in Lilongwe this morning, Skinnybash said the newly presented budget statement shows a high deficit, which will in turn undermine the economic stability. Skinnybash emphasized on the need to implement structural reforms which will address the high inflation, extensive borrowing, and drive domestic resource mobilization to shift from the donor dependency syndrome. He has since cautioned against overspending during the forthcoming general elections, saying this will result into fiscal imbalances in the long run. And in other news, the United States agreed on Tuesday to resume military aid and intelligence sharing with Ukraine after Kyiv said it was ready to support Washington's proposal for a 30-day ceasefire with Russia, the countries said in a joint statement. After more than 8 hours of talks with Ukrainian officials in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the U.S. would now take the offer to Russia and the ball is in Moscow's court. The Kremlin launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine 3 years ago, and Russia, which has been making advances, now holds around a fifth of Ukraine's territory, including Crimea, which it annexed in 2014. Rubio said Washington wanted a full agreement with both Russia and Ukraine as soon as possible. And that is about what we had time for in this edition of our news updates. My name is Tandiwe Mzumara. Good afternoon.